Hello everybody, I know I did an update video 2 days ago, but things are moving really quick now. There's a bunch of new polls to go over, so let's get into it. Now, some people said, I don't really know, I don't really trust the polls, I don't really believe the polls, I think they're rigged. And I understand that perspective. I'm not really here to convince you one way or another. But a lot of the people who comment on this stuff have no experience in the sector and haven't really studied it formally. For my part, I am a political scientist. That's what I did in school, and I've worked in the field. So I'm here to kind of bring you a more empirical perspective to this and kind of a social science perspective. Other people can do kind of their own analysis, and that's all well and good. But voter psychology is extremely difficult. And even people who have been at this for decades don't understand what that is. What does voter psychology mean? Well, people will say, like, there's the bandwagon effect, like someone's going to win, so everybody goes out and votes for them. And then there's kind of the opposite, where the person's going to win and people don't bother to show up and vote for them. Then you have cases where, like, people vote for the underdog. Then you have cases where polling depresses turnout, and you have cases where polling increases turnout. And it's very hard to predict. So a lot of people can talk about that. I speculate a bit on that, but like I said, it's very difficult, and I think you have to keep that in mind when you're playing around with things. So I'm just going to look at this just from the polls, just from the trends, and just from kind of my views on the matter. So here is the electoral map at the moment. As you can see, it pretty much can't be closer. It's as close as it can realistically get. Now, Trump basically needs to keep all the states he's ahead in and flip one more. Now, if the states he's currently ahead in, I think Arizona, Florida, North Carolina, Ohio, Iowa, I think most of them are pretty solid. Nevada and Florida and North Carolina are probably the weakest, but even then, if trends continue in the direction they are, things are kind of heading in that direction. If Trump can get Pennsylvania, then it's over. He can lose Nevada and North Carolina and still win the election if he gets Pennsylvania. The fact is, Hillary's campaigning in some of the, what are those, mid-northwestern states? Great Lakes states? The fact that she's campaigning there seems to indicate things. So let's look at the changes page. So today we had Nevada and North Carolina flip from Hillary to Trump. We had Arizona, which was bullshit. I don't think Arizona was ever a blue state. And we've had Florida switch to Trump. So we've gone from September, and things have kind of largely recovered for Trump at this point in time. So let's see, what are the new polls that we're coming out with? Because there's been a lot of new polls coming out today. So let's just look at them. We have two polls showing Clinton up 3, which are outliers. I don't know, just not really the direction it's trending in. Okay, sorry, my computer is freezing. 1 second. So, yeah, this one's a bit further out. This one's kind of weird. So if we look at the polls, yeah, Trump's up 3. I think actually, the question is Johnson and Stein actually going to get that much, and how are they going to break? So if we look at the two-way, I think that's more accurate. So we have Trump up 5 in one poll. We have tie 2, 3, 3. Margin of total is 1.7. 1.7 is dead even. That's substantially below the margin of error. So that's looking really good. Yep. So we have that. So this is extremely close. It should also be noted, the national polls are kind of an indicator, but if you consider that California, New York, and some other really big states vote like 80% Democrat, that's where a lot of the population comes. Whereas a lot of Republican states have substantial diversity, which is why the Republicans sometimes do not as good in terms of the national vote. So yes, we've had 2 flips. We've had Maine flip back to Clinton. That doesn't really matter that much, but let's look at some other recent polls, shall we? So let me see, there's some state polls. So we have 3 polls from New Hampshire that show Trump tied or in the lead. Now, if we look at the current electoral map, let's see, where's Bill Jerome? Come on, where's Bill Jerome? That's annoying. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a professional. Let's see here. Where's Bill Jerome? Create your own map. So if we take everything that's currently in Trump's column, so we'll give him Arizona, Nevada, North Carolina, Iowa, Colorado we'll give to Hillary, Florida we'll give to Trump because he's up there, Ohio we'll give to Trump, Virginia is Hillary, Pennsylvania is Hillary. So if we give Nevada to Trump, then let's say that goes Democrat, then we get a statistical tie. And what happens when there's a tie is the House of Representatives decides who the next president is. And since that is the House of Representatives is controlled by and will continue to be controlled by the Republicans, Trump wins in the event of a statistical tie, which seems possible at this point in time. So yeah, so New Hampshire could decide the election. Let's see, Trump's up way in Utah. I kind of think Trump being down in Utah was kind of a bunch of bullshit. I think a lot of Mormons were just angry at him, and they were just putting it down as not him. Let's see, what else do we have here? I think there was some Virginia polls out. Let me just see here. Yes, Trump is up in a Virginia poll. If Trump wins Virginia, it's over. Interestingly, we have a poll from the same day where Trump is up 4 points and 3 points in Virginia, but also down 3 points. Sorry, let me just check if these are the same. Poll 5. Yeah, so there's one up 3, one down 5. So that's an 8-point spread. I guess that's because that's a runoff, and then that includes the other people. So I'm not really sure which one's more accurate. Oregon is even within not striking distance, but that's close. For Pennsylvania, we have Clinton only up about 3 or 4 points. So once it gets into that, that's within the margin of error, and that's also based very much on very small turnout differences. Like if Trump has good turnout in Virginia or good turnout in Pennsylvania, he could win. If Hillary's people don't turn out, then she'd probably lose. If it's like a case like California, it doesn't really matter what turnout is. Or was there like a dark red state like Utah or Louisiana or Mississippi or one of those? It doesn't really matter what turnout is because the Republicans will just win. So let's see here. I think some Colorado polls had him up, actually. Colorado. So Clinton was up 1. Let's see, what's the most recent one? The most recent poll has a statistical tie in Colorado. And they've pretty much been at a statistical tie for a while. Let me just see if I can find the Colorado polls. Don't worry, I'm a professional. So let's go Colorado, New Hampshire, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and Maine 2nd Congressional District. So Hillary is only up 1.7 points in Colorado, which, like I said, is nothing. I think the other thing you have to keep in mind is Hispanics don't really vote. I mean, they vote, but they vote in very small numbers. So what you're seeing in the polls may not be reflective because white people support Trump, and they'll probably come out to vote for Trump. Hispanics will vote for Hillary, but they generally speaking don't vote. So we have that in Colorado. New Hampshire, Trump is surging. He's pretty much almost in first place. If he wins New Hampshire, then this is pretty much over. but that's within the margin of error. But it's once again, it's the momentum. It's trending very strongly in that direction, and that does indicate strength. North Carolina basically looks like Trump's going to take it. That's a massive upswing. Let's see here. Pennsylvania is close. Trump may not win Pennsylvania. What he'll likely do, though, is he'll pull off a lot of resources from other swing states, because Pennsylvania is quite a large state, and Hillary can't afford that. Virginia is also getting pretty close. 5 points is within striking distance. Once again, it's 3.5, and the latest poll was 3. So, oh, and that poll's pretty recent actually, and that poll is. Oh, okay. Well, that was over time, so yeah. So that looks pretty good for Trump. He might not win Virginia once again, though. He doesn't have to win all of these. He just has to be within striking distance and maybe win 1 or 2 of these. Now, main proportions, it's electoral votes based on congressional districts. So if Trump can win there, that gives him an extra electoral college vote, which, as close as this election is, that could be what puts him over the top. That's general election. So, yeah, overall, it's very close. We also have Michigan, Maine, Minnesota. I think also something to take a look at. I know it's a little hard, but if we look at how things have changed over time, Colorado went from being +9 for Obama to +5 for Obama to +1.7 for Clinton. That's extremely close. It's really trending in that direction. Iowa went from being +10 Obama to +1 Trump. Nevada went from being 12.5 Obama to 2 Trump. New Hampshire went from being +10 Obama to basically a tie. So just looking at some of these, you can tell how much this is trending in Trump's direction. Maine's 2nd Congressional District was 12 Obama, toss-up. Let's see here. Georgia is doing just as well. Indiana, he's doing good in. Maine total has gone from 17 up for Obama to 6 up for Clinton. So in a lot of these states, we've had swings of like 10 or more percentage points. This is a much closer election. I think this is also something to keep in mind if you're looking at the national polls, because the state polls seem to be more in Trump's favor than the national polls are. So, yeah, like Trump is actually improving on a lot of the other people. I mean, the whole Texas being a purple state was bullshit. Even like New Jersey, Trump's doing a lot better in New Jersey than like anyone else has in the foreseeable past. So yeah, I just wanted to do an update. Lots of changes, lots of exciting stuff happen. You know what? I'm gonna call this election for Trump. Unless something really bad happens and some big scandal occurs in the next couple days, I think he's got this in the bag. This is Argent. I'll talk to you guys later.